Hi everyone. The topic I chose to talk about today is the organ donation black market in China. It's a really interesting topic since it's talked about for most of the novel with Harper's situation. To understand really the topic, I think it's important to know that the black market is a clandestine market used for illegal activities or for legal activities, but exchanged in a way that helps people evade taxes. As for a legitimate organ donation, there are two possible ways to do so. So first of all, for some organs such as kidney and liver, it's possible to do a living donation where the donor will still be alive after the donation. And the other possible way is with brain dead patients, and that way they can collect organs such as heart and lungs. Of course, in both these situations, the donor have to be willing. So either they sign something about organ donation before death, or the hospital staff will ask the family members if they accept to donate their loved one's organ after death. There are great needs of organ transplant, but really limited supply all around the world. So it creates a big problem around organ transplants. And this encourages the population to turn to the black market. Organ donation black markets are something that is common all around the world, but the situation is really problematic in China because it's the only place where organs are taken from executed prisoners. So they say because the prisoners are not really executed, they mostly kill them just for their organs. So the problem with organ donation in China is that it is really unethical because the prisoners, they're not regular prisoners. They're mostly prisoners of conscience, which means they are imprisoned for who they are, for their race, their religion, or because of the peaceful expression of their political beliefs. But we have to know that they are not the only donors on the organ black market in China. There are also people who choose to donate their organs against an amount of money. Second of all, another issue with organ donation black market in China is that it is really, there are many health risks associated with organ donations because the quality of the organ on the black market is really not assured. It can come from a not healthy donor, which can lead to a health problem. There are also many risks of being victim of fraud or robbery, like we've seen in the novel where Marlowe pays the amount of money for Harper's heart, but she never ends up receiving the organ. And finally, there is a great risk of infection because there is not always a proper care or follow-up after the treatment. This is the case of a woman named Matin Khan. She agreed to share her experience with CTV. She really badly needed a kidney, but she's a Canadian and the waiting list for organ transplant in Canada was really too long and her life was at stake, so she could not wait. And she decided to travel to Pakistan. So in her case, it's not China, but it's a really similar concept. And she paid $10,000 to get her kidney, but once she got home, she was in kidney failure. She got pneumonia and a fever because her organ was not functioning properly. So this is a really unfortunate situation that happens to many people when they get an organ on the black market. So knowing that many organs come from organ harvesting of prisoners of conscience, why are so many people turning to the black market? Well, we have to understand that, like I mentioned earlier, there's a really limited resource in terms of organs. So some people have no choice but to do so, or else they will die. And sometimes these people, they're in a really vulnerable situation. So they do everything they can to stay alive. And like in the novel, the family members, they want to do everything they can to save their loved ones. So they're ready to take big risks and to sacrifice someone else's life for their loved one, like Marlowe was trying to do with Harper. So based on what I said, I think it's pretty unanimous that it should not be legal to force someone to give one of their organs. However, I have a question for you, which I will also answer, is that, do you think it should be legal to be able to donate your organ in exchange of an amount of money? Personally, I have mixed feeling on the topic. On one hand, I feel it could be beneficial because it would encourage more people to donate their organ, but at the same time, it could also be bad. So it would be a good thing because it would reduce the organ shortage. And I think if we do that, we still have to keep the waiting list in place. So it would prioritize the people who need the organ the most, and they would receive it before other people. But on the other end, it's a bad thing because in Quebec, the health system is based on equality. So everyone has access to a free healthcare. And by allowing organ trade, we encourage the richer part of the population. We give them access to more healthcare because they have access to buying an organ, while some people they don't have access to it because they don't have the financial resources. So what do you think about it? Do you think it should be legal or not?
Well, I think it's not that bad because there's only a small margin of the population who's going to give up their organs just for helping people, and most of the people want something back for it. So by paying them, it's like you're encouraging people to give more organs. And I feel like if there's no payment, there's not a lot of people who would be willing to give up an organ just for the simple sake of helping somebody else.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Tyler in the sense that like if you know that there's like an amount of money that could be returned to you after you donate it, like I think it could, like Tyler said, it encourages you to help people out. But yeah, that being said, not everyone would have access to it because of financial reasons. So it's kind of it's a very tough debate.
Well, in my opinion, giving away your organs for money is pretty bad because there are always risks associated with the surgery, and some people might not know the risk really well and could give away their organs for money and just basically die. So it's kind of but at the same time they could be helping other people out, and
Yeah, but like
it's a touchy subject.
When like you're on the verge of like, let's say, death, kind of like Harper, like that's pretty much your last resource, right? So like you kind of have no choice to accept those risks, and like you have no choice to pay the amount of money to survive, or else it's pretty much you die.
No, but I'm talking about the people giving the organs away. The
Well,
people
it's a
that get
win-win
the
because
surgery.
they get money in exchange. So in a way, everyone is happy because you're
Yeah.
happy to get an organ, but at the same time, the people who give it away, they're happy to have money for it too. It's their decision.
Yeah, but you're still selling your body, and that's
But
Yeah, but it's
that's a choice you make. Like
What?
in both cases, like it's like for both people, it's a choice they make. Like for the person selling the organ, it's a choice they made. And for the person buying the organ, it's also a choice they make to accept the risks and the amount they have to pay.
Yeah, of course. Like you mentioned, the only downside is that for the people who don't have the financial resources to buy it, afterwards there are less organs for them because people no longer donate it; they only sell it. So the people who need it, they won't be able to find a free organ. It will be harder for them. Yeah, I have another question for you guys. If it were one of your loved one who was in need for an organ, would you turn to the black market to get an organ and save their life, or you would be no, that's too unethical for me. I'm just gonna take my chances with the transplant list.
Well, personally for me, I think it would depend at what point that person is suffering. Like if they're not suffering that much, and the doctor says like they're not suffering that much and they don't have much time left to live, and um I might not, because it's really unethical, and also there's a lot of risks that come with it, like you said, fraud and scams and stuff like that, and it's really risky in my opinion. I would rather do it like kind of a more legit way, I guess.
But you would do it if they were if they were really suffering and they absolutely needed it, or they're gonna die.
Yeah, the only option.
If it was the only option left, I think I would. Yes, I would.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I don't really know if I would, but I guess so. If they're really gonna die and it's the last way to save them, yeah, maybe.
Okay, well, I think that's it. Thank you.